it's Lisa. I have quite a few photos today that I want to put on my page. This is a page about going hiking, and it's a page about getting lost or getting a little turned around. Now, out on the highway, I very seldom get lost. If I've been somewhere once, I can go back. To me, I don't care for the GPS. I'd rather read a map. It's like a puzzle, and I enjoy learning how to get around in places. But out in the woods is a whole different thing. It's not an area I'm comfortable with. What's interesting, though, about this particular place is this is a hiking area we go to regularly. We have been many, many times. It's a county park, but it is better marked than most national parks I've been to. There are placards at every little bit. Every time you have a trail that crosses in the park, there's a placard there that has a map on it and what number you are on the map. And I mean, it's just like, how on earth do you get lost? And I made not one, but two wrong turns that day. And we ended up hiking a bit longer than we really planned. At one point I was like, this does not look familiar to me. So I want to talk a little bit about getting turned around. It just sort of adds a different spin to the walk on a place that we go to quite a bit. So I have some photos that I took that day, and I thought that it might be fun to use some of this product from Simple Stories. This is, if I can find the front of it, I'll tell you what collection this is. Here it is, Simple Stories Life in Color. It's gotten sort of torn apart here. Normally I keep my 6x6 pads in different storage, but if I have a lot of stuff with them, or if I have 12x12 papers that go with them, I put them in my Sterilite drawers here. And I have combined this with some other collections because the colors were kind of similar. I'm finding that works really well for me. So anyway, I have this Simple Stories Life in Color, and there's a lot of words in the stickers that I think are kind of fun to use with this. So that's why I thought I would work with these. And I've got so many photos that there's just not going to be tons of room on the page. And I kind of liked that. The focus I'm happy. I don't know if I'll get that worked in or not. But here's my sketch. So we've got 3 photos across the top and 2 more at the bottom. Now I have cropped these, or will be cropping these, down to 3x5s. You could use 4x6s here. You just wouldn't have a lot of extra room at all for anything around them, but you could have some embellishment groups and maybe just a background paper. But I'm going to have a little bit of room for some paper to peek out around these, and we're not going to worry so much about matching the colors of the photos. And so this is a place we go a lot, and I do a lot of things where I want to create this feeling of being back in the environment and making it look like where we've been. So my tendency for a page like this would be to do some green and nature colors and things in the background, and that would work. But the story that I'm really trying to tell here is about, something humorous about me getting lost. My husband does not have a natural sense of direction. Now, out in the woods without markings, he would get along a whole lot better than I would. Having grown up in that environment, he would be much more comfortable with it. But when it comes to following a map and stuff on the highway, I'm much better at that than he is. So my getting lost is kind of a humorous little thing here that happened to us. So that's really what I want to focus on, is the turnaround kind of thing. I'll probably do some die cuts or use some arrows to illustrate, sort of not exactly going around in circles, but not going where we wanted to go. And so my colors here are probably going to be brighter colors. I've got lots of neutrals in the photo, but I want to focus on what happened that day and how frustrated I felt when I had gone the wrong way. So my feeling is not the peaceful serenity of the walk so much as being a bit aggravated with myself and him finding this, sort of humorous at a little bit at my expense. So that's what I'm going for in the colors and things for this page. So let's pick out, I'm going to trim these down, but let's pick out some papers. I will need at least 3 different pieces of the 6x6. We're going to cut them down to 3x3s, and then I'm going to need some paper down here as strips, and I can go to my 12x12 stash and get something, or I can just take 6x6 paper and cut it so that it's, split behind the photos. So I'm sorting some of these things out. I have the stickers all mixed in with the papers,
And the Simple Stories papers have all these wonderful journaling cards, little mini journaling cards that you can cut apart and use for embellishments. So I want to use several of those in addition to my regular papers. It's kind of sitting over here to the right, the things that I think I may use. I like that blue green paper and the floral paper, even though it's a little bit busier. I think it will work with these photos. And I think the stripe will work well down there as that border along the bottom, or band along the bottom. So now with these in mind, I need to think about a background paper. There is a wood grain in that one paper, and I pulled out a couple of possible wood grains. There's a real dark one here that was a Bow Bunny paper. It's a B-side of, I think, something about Little Miss. I can't remember the exact name of the collection from a couple of years ago. And there was a My Mind's Eye from Cut and Paste that I really thought I would use because I like the lighter color and I like those more stylized wood grain for this kind of fun layout. But the darker one just really made the photos pop. And there's going to be a lot of color on here to lend to this more fun kind of subject. So I think that I like that contrast with the darker paper. So I'm just picking out a few of these different journaling cards. I probably won't get to use all of them. But I have quite a few at hand. And they can be cut up further, and they will be before I'm done with the page. Now I'm using my sketch. Everything is on the sketch prints at 6 inches, so I just double each thing for a measurement for a 12-inch page. I have this sticker here from October Afternoon that I've had forever, and I knew when I did this page that I would pull out that sticker because I've been saving it for one of those times when we got a little turned around, and it says, "We are not lost, we are hiking." This would have probably been more appropriate in some of our bigger adventures where we have made really long treks, like getting quite turned around in some parks. Especially, I don't want to pick on the national park system. It's a wonderful, wonderful system. But for some reason, we have had a little more trouble sometimes at national parks. I think maybe we just get very excited at the beginning of our trip and maybe don't pay as close attention to where we ought to be going. But we have, I remember in Grand Tetons National Park, we hiked a lot that day because we're getting a little too turned around. All right, I'm splitting this paper on the bottom so that I can hide the split back there behind the pages, because otherwise they would have split right in the middle, and that's going to show between the photos. I'm actually going to leave a tiny bit more space than what shows there. I am going to want to cut some circles or rather arrows on my silhouette, and I'm found some old chipboard, some really large. If I have a large title, then it's a good time to use some of my old chipboard that needs to be painted or colored in some way. And I'm doing the word lost, and I substituted a round piece for the O, and I'm just looking for something to go on top of the O. Got lots of stickers, and then I have one of those journaling cards that I actually end up punching out the center of it, the Be Happy, and put that in the middle of the lost. As it was a very happy day, even though we got a little turnaround. And then the arrows I cut on the silhouette out of just cardstock because I felt like I had enough pattern. And I'm trying to decide on the color for the letters, and I have so much color. I thought that I would paint them in some color, but I got so much color here that I really think I'm just going to paint them white. I left the white edges on the photos, and that makes them, in this case, I think a little more casual. It's not always a casual look, but I think in this case it did, and makes them stand out on that dark background. And then the lost, I'm just going to paint that with white, plain white acrylic paint, put a couple of coats on there to cover those. And then we'll glue the Be Happy on top of the round chipboard shape for lost. And we have a question mark because, you know, are we really lost if we found our way out? And this is another one that I'm going to cut down, and I'm cutting it on the paper trimmer, and I'm just making a smaller piece there, the live in the moment piece, and then I'm going to use some Tombow adhesive to attach a lot of these pieces. It's getting a little cramped, but I think it's still going to all fit and be a fun page. A little more crowded page is often a little more casual page rather than being so formal, and that's what I'm looking for here, something more casual. I've got lots of cute little stickers that I can stick on the photos. They're just words that have meaning to me for this layout. And adding more meaning to layouts is what my new class, The Living Page, is all about. If you haven't seen the trailer for that, it's over on my YouTube channel, and there's more information on my blog, and there'll be a link for this layout about that class. It's a lot about not just how to do things, but the why behind them, and much more detailed than my regular scrapbook, my process videos. Now, to sort of tie everything together, I'm taking some round stickers from this collection. I think this was originally designed for planner pages. So I've got all these little dots here, and then I'm going to add some enamel dots from Basic Gray that happen to be the right colors to kind of fill that in. So now I'm really glad I painted the chipboard a neutral color.
Okay, I'm really loving my page, except I feel like I need something down here to sort of bring these together, so I'm going to try one of these hearts. These are from Go Now Go, Chamel by American Crafts, and I just love these puffy hearts. They are the best thing, I think, out of this collection. But I don't know which one I like. I already have stripes down there. Something green. Oh my gosh, there's so many pretty ones. Explore. Got that. Just want to put that together. Okay. So I've really got my 3 different embellishment groups, and this one's sort of strung out in here because I put this kind of low. It could have maybe gone up a little bit higher, but it just sort of brings these bottom photos in as well. So you can see we followed our sketch pretty closely with our 2 photos across the bottom with just a little bit of space between those, and our circular arrows, and then just added a lot more of these words, either things from the paper pack or a few little stickers in here that, you know, sort of mean something to me when I look at this page, where we weren't entirely lost, but still not quite on the path that we expected to be on. So let me show you some close-ups. So we've turned what's sort of a nature page into a really fun, colorful page to capture the fun memory. Thanks so much for watching.
And if you like seeing in my videos both the why I choose things and the how, check out my new class called The Living Page. The videos go into a lot more detail than I do in my regular process videos. It's available now, and look at my blog for more details. Thanks so much.